Good evening, guys. Welcome to another video on I Like That. So, going to be showing the rest of the records I got in February. It was a pretty mad buying month for me. There's just too many records out there. Everywhere I visited on my travels, there was just something I needed to buy and bring back home. The good thing is, I sold a lot to make room for these, um, which allowed me to pay for them. Otherwise, I would be kicking myself that I didn't walk away with them. So I'm going to show 10 that I picked up on the second half of February. See, in my previous videos is stuff I picked up at the start of February, stuff I picked up after I went to Diggers Club, which was quite a hefty haul. And then this is the rest for February. I might call off in March and take a little bit of a breather to sell some more, sort out my collection a little bit, just to make funds for records going forward. As I said in videos that I've made, I tend to want to sell and buy from what I sell. So I've had a lot of records from when I started that I've now discovered that don't really fit into what I like and what I want to collect. So I'm getting rid of those now to make way for ones which I see and that I really want to add to my collection and listen to. Okay, so the one I'll start with, I actually picked up yesterday, I think, and that's Jerry's Kids. Is This My World? This is a bootleg, I believe, with the printed hype, exclaim hype on there. This is a single disc, but it's the actual album on one side and a live album on the other side. So yeah, it's nice to have because it's one that's on my want list, but it sounds absolutely fucking terrible. Yeah, they fit so much on one side and so much on the other side that it is all over the shop. But no, it's really nice to have. Anyway, like I said, I think it's a bootleg. Well, I'm sure it's a bootleg, and that was from probably the early 2000s. Originally released in 1981, or no, sorry, or 1982, 1983, something like that. 1983, I believe. Yeah, originally released in 1983. So, and the original copies for this go for mad amounts. So, yeah, to have even just a bootleg in my collection is pretty cool to have. It's something you don't really see every day. Secondly is one of my all-time favourites, Green Day Insomniac, with the price label from HMV from back in 1995. This is a UK pressing. UK first press, so really nice to have. Still in the shrink as well, even though the shrink is almost deteriorated from the vinyl itself. It's still pretty cool. Where the shrink has come away, that's where the corners are pretty battered, but plays well. Nothing wrong with that. It comes with the actual inner as well to the record. So yeah, really nice copy to have. Probably my favourite Green Day album as well. Everybody sort of chooses Dookie, but I just love every track on Insomnia. Armitage Shanks is like one of my all-time favourite tracks. So yeah, amazing album. Next is the debut by GBH, or as they were called then, Charged, GBH, City Baby, Attacked by Rats. Really cool cover art on there. The album's, I mean, for when it was released, I mean, it's quite ahead of its time in terms of vocal performance for a punk band. It was quite melodic. To be fair, it has a slight tone of Metallica's Hetfield in there, which is pretty cool. This is a first pressing. This is one I got when I was away in Cornwall from Museum Vinyl. A really cool shop. Really great prices on the records there, and a lot of used stuff there that you don't really see everywhere else. So yeah, it was really good find. This one it's on the Clay label, the white label. It's one that you didn't. If you see like the scores for like the meta scores and like the ratings for this album is rated quite low down, but I actually think it's pretty good. It's quite catchy with some of the tracks, and it's not as hardcore as a lot of hardcore bands at the time. But a really cool fact which I found out is the song "Spit Out Your Bone" is actually inspired by the track on this by Metallica. Sorry, off the Hardwired album is actually inspired by the song "Passenger on the Menu," which one of the lyrics says "Spit out your bone" on this album. So yeah, really cool album to have. Next is Discharge, Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing. This is a UK first pressing on the Clay label with the pretty cool label one side and the Clay label on the other. This is a gatefold with a pretty raw front cover. I showed on my previous videos that I purchased Discharge's first LP or EP, really, Y reissue. So yeah, really cool to have this really inspirational album for upcoming hardcore punk bands at the time. And also features another tie-in with Metallica, as they do the original song for Free Speech for the Done, which is featured on Metallica's covers album Garage Inc. So yeah, really nice record. And next is, it was on one of my grails of the year that I wanted to find is I wanted to find the 1986 reissue of the Modern Lovers, which has the extra tracks and probably some tracks which are better than the actual album tracks. They go for mad prices, and I can't really find one in the UK either. But the difference with the 1986 is it features the whole band on the front of the album, the Modern Lovers logo quite small compared to what it is on the original album art. But I had to pick this up because it was around £20 for a second pressing on the US label, Home of the Hits, on Playboy Records. So I couldn't say no to this, even though it wasn't the definitive one I was looking for. I still love the album. I mean, the fact that this was made in 1976 and you listen to it now, like, you wouldn't believe it was made back then, because it is so ahead of its time. The sound is amazing on this. Jonathan Rittman's vocals, just quality, as punk as you can get. and the band obviously went off to do different things like Talking Heads, etc. So yeah, a really, really amazing album, and this is almost near mint for a first US pressing. So yeah, chuffed to have this one, but I'm still going to look for the 1986 version, the alternative cover. The next few records are one band heavy, but they're replacements of copies that I had. So I had some reissues, so now I've replaced them with first pressings, or first editions. So first one is Joy as an Act of Resistance by IDOLCH. IDOLCH, a phenomenal band, probably my favourite band around right now. Been to see them a few times. This is their second full-length album. Probably my favourite album, but I had a reissue of this. So when I first got into IDOLCH, it was when they released this album, and I picked up a reissue of it on regular black vinyl on Partisan Records from HMV at the time. And it wasn't until recently I was just sort of like, I would love to have the first pressings of each IDOLCH album. I don't have the first pressing of Brutalism, their first album, but this one is really cool, as I purchased it off eBay for a really great price, but it comes with a signed print by all the band, which I'm going to get framed, and the first price of this album comes in a really, really cool pink vinyl with glittery label, whereas the original comes in, the reissue, comes in black vinyl with just plain labels, plain lettered labels. So yeah, really glad to have this one now to start my collection of getting original first pressings of IDOLCH albums. If you've not come across or heard of IDOLCH at all, if you're in America or anywhere else and they haven't really resonated over there, please just check out this album. Check out all their albums, really. It's just pure joy, absolute ride. Yeah, so this is Joy as an Act of Resistance. Second is their third album, Ultra Mono. This is a reverse copy of the original version of the album, which I have. So the original version of the album has this as the cover, with that as the back, but a lot of people don't really like that as the cover, so they released 1,000 copies with the covers reversed. This is still in the shrink and still sealed, and it's got the Vortex vinyl, which is the same vinyl which is in the original cover. So it's pretty cool, Vortex vinyl. So yeah, cool to have that one sealed. Definitely look to keep that in the collection. And along with that, and just the other day, after I purchased the sealed version, I found the deluxe gatefold, so I had to pick this one up as well. This is also limited to 1,000. It comes in a really cool gatefold with a booklet with the embossed ultra mono. Probably can't see that on camera, but it has a rundown of each track on the album, but set to the sculpture made by Joe Talbot's dad, Nigel, and an in-depth use of materials and the reasoning behind the sculpture, which is really cool addition to have. But that's not sealed, so I'm now thinking, do I just get rid of the first one, or do I keep all three, just so I have one of each? So I don't know, but yeah, really nice copy to have. Wanted the deluxe version when it was first released, never got it. So yeah, to find this at my local record shop for a really great price compared to like Discogs or eBay, I just had to pick it up, especially when it's pretty much near mint. And lastly, on the Idols train is their new album, Tank. I was able to go and see their gig at the Marble Factory in Bristol, which was their album release show. The album was released the day before, but they did an album release show, a few of them, about three of them, two in London and one in Bristol. And the ticket I had was the deluxe ticket, so it came with the deluxe version of the album with the holographic shiny Tank lettering, a really cool gatefold of the band, a booklet inside, and also on clear yellow vinyl. It was quite mad that the gig that I went to, they gave this out first, so it meant throughout the whole gig you had to carry this around with you. And if you've ever been to an Idols gig, you're not sitting down and you're not just standing around shoegazing, you're actually jumping about and singing along. So there's a lot of people with records in the air, but I was able to get quite close to the front, so I was able to just put mine over the barrier for most of the show and pick it up at the end. But yeah, if you've not heard their new album, I just truly recommend it. It is so good. And lastly is probably one which I've been after for so long. I had, if I can find it, still have a 2015 issue of Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. The 2015 version came in the original textured sleeve with the original inner, but I've always wanted just an OG copy of this, a 1979 version of Unknown Pleasures, and lo and behold, I found one in really good shape as well. A little bit of ring wear, a little bit of edge wear on there as well, but still with the textured sleeve and the original inner, with a little bit of discoloration on there, and the original red sort of transparent vinyl. Plays really well. Checked it out before I bought it, as a lot of them could have quite a few bumps or scratches in there, but the price in which I saw this for, I mean, I was going to get it regardless. It was a ridiculously cheap price. yeah, it's one that I just wanted the original of, just to say that I've got it, really. And I've got the other two still and closer original copies of those. So just wanted an original copy of Unknown Pleasures as well. So yeah, really, really, really glad to have this in the collection. And that's it. So that's 10 records I've picked up towards the tail end of February. Like I said, I'm gonna try and cool it down a little bit in March. Look to sell more than buy, and then pick up again in April. I'll most likely find some stuff in March and do a video on it. But yeah, probably won't be as good of a haul as this month, which was jam packed, full of really decent pickups. But yeah, hope you liked the video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the video, and also follow my Instagram channel as well. It's the same name. I like that _record. And yeah, I'll catch you again.